Okay. So another pro tip here. Number one, unless you got a really small drone, a drone of this size, you got to get registered with the FAA before you fly it. And as a matter of fact, congratulations me, I've just gotten into the Part 107, which is pretty wicked. It gives me a lot more options legally that I can do flying the drone. There's a couple other ones. The standard one you need is the 336. So we're just going to kind of set the gimbal here. You can see it. Now, I want you, especially if there's any younger cats watching, or just people with those expansive minds, to think about this. One of the things I like to say, one of my things is think small and be tall. It tests your eyes, improves your eye-hand coordination and your dexterity. You've got to understand that this is in reality a giant machine. You just happen to be an even gianter being, multiple cellular organisms, neurons in the brain, dendrites, corpuscles of flesh. And we're integrating with a machine here. And you got to realize that being jaded about your work is just not cool, man. And I don't know if that offers you anything personal as far as working on, aerial things, aerial systems, computer systems. A lot of people say that this is the way to go. A lot of people say that this shit's going down. But the FAA just, like I said, I've been in this shit for 3 years now. I've got 3 years experience working with this shit. A lot of flight hours. I missed my records were fucked up. I had a lot of flight hours and a lot of really testing environments. You got to understand, it's possible. I had a kitty hawk moment. I've contacted the Guinness Book of World Records. I haven't heard back, but it's possible I was one of the first people, if not the first person, to ever fly a quad rotor aircraft into the eye of a hurricane, let alone the eye of a major hurricane. So it was heavy. It's been a long ride. 6 years, as a matter of fact, been here on YouTube. That's 2013 to 2019. That's 6 fucking years I've been on just this platform. This is my 14th year chasing. And I'd say I've been studying this shit since I was about 12 years old. Probably my 18th year being fascinated with it. So basically what we've done here is we've separated the rotors. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to remove the shell, and it doesn't have to be a hassle. What you're going to need is you're going to need a 6-pointed screwdriver. And these are actually in different sizes. You don't want to get the outermost. You may not have to remove the engines. I don't think you necessarily have to remove the engines to mess with the shell. We'll show you. Like I said, I haven't fully installed all the screws because I'm still in the repair process. I just got this drone flying the other day, and I've been experimenting with a number of things on it without the gimbal. I actually considered rigging up my GoPro Hero 4 on it and doing away with the gimbal, which, believe it or not, some people have done. They've gone that route. One issue we had is shake, a lot of shake with the gimbal. I mean, without this gimbal, you see it's got these boots. Check out these boots, air cushion boots, and they have custom plastic things that go up here and lock in. I destroyed them when I was taking it apart, but it's okay. We're going to use zip ties. Right now, the procedure is separating the shell, and I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler alert for all you fangirls. If you pull this shell off, you're going to tear your GPS cable. If you tear your GPS cable, you're not going to be flying. Not until you buy another one. And you see there's some frame damage right there. Now, typically, if this were an inspection with the FAA, you know, they, depending on who you're looking at, they're going to have an issue with that frame damage. And it's not just frame damage. You know, they want to make sure all your screws, all your parts that are keeping the aircraft connected are there. And, you know, they're also going to want to make sure that you've got your serial number somewhere on the craft. That's a new one that they're doing this year. So it's not that big of a deal. There's some regulations, and that's okay. I mean, the regulations have laxed up a little bit on flying these things over people. We're still waiting to do the first responder thing. You know, they generally frown on that. Especially, you know, because there may be medevacs coming into an area that's just been hit. And, but I've been wanting to get into a couple of things that I just don't talk about as far as these, and that I think they could be hot. And what we do here is you just kind of pop the shell loose, which you can buy these shells if you want. I'm going to learn how. I'm in the process of learning, and I'll take you to the top with me as long as they allow it. And you can see the implementation. There's supposed to be a way that I can show you if you're working with me right now. You can buy some of these tools. And when you buy the tool, I earn a little bit of loot. So I've heard some of them. I don't know. It's none of my business, but I've heard some of these cats. They make a lot. They make a lot. It's a full-time sale, full-time salary. And if you listen to the CEO, Miss Susan Majicki, she claims in her, it was the last quarterly, that there's 50-some% more 5-figure creators and over 30% more 6-figure creators. So I'm trying to get back on that train. You know, that train went off the tracks for a long period, and it burned. It burned, and it spilled some hazard goo. But it happens. You kind of want to crack your shell here. They're about $40 if you want to buy a new one. But this system right now I'm kind of pushing it to its limits. My goal when I bought this drone, I was one of the first people in this fucking state to have one. And I dreamed big and I dreamed bold. I took this system to a lot of places. I've done orthographic mapping with it. I've done things with this drone that a lot of people just aren't fucking with. And I've lost it. I mean, this drone it's been robust. And I aim on running it, like I said, until it pays for itself. It's about $1,000 system. The prices come down, and the day it pays for itself, I tell you what, I'll be buying another one, or probably 4. Definitely keep this one because it's taught me a lot. There's a lot of things about it that it's just you've got to learn. It's got a learning curve. After a while, like preventative maintenance, you want to maintain your drone, the angle of your propellers. You may think that the angle of your propellers isn't an issue, but I'm here to tell you right now, it is. And balancing your propellers. You may be like, man, Tyler, what? I balanced my car tire. What? I got to balance my drone propeller too? And yes, that is the case. The professionals do recommend that you balance your props. How you do that? It's a little bit more advanced than where I'm at. Make sure you don't break your shit. And followers, take a look. This is that cable I'm telling you about in there. You see it right down there? You can't see it, but right now, before you even go crazy, because I may break this shell working on it right now. I'm not the best, but you get better with time. What you want to do is you want to gently damaging that cable. Remove that that day I had the tornado. Almost had the tornado in Louisiana. The drone didn't take off, and I thought it was a conspiracy, and it really, really hurt. And it turns out, I can't confirm or deny that, but I think that upon inspecting the drone, it had been jostled up in the crashes. And what happened was that GPS cable was loose. Hello? Hi, this is Brandon. Dan pointed as you responded to your advertisement. All right. So we've got a stubborn screw here. You may be wondering, man, Tyler, that's a wicked stealth color you got on your drone there. Is that factory? It's like, no. That's actually some weatherproof, supposed to be weatherproof epoxy. As you can see, that one's just a little too large. You're gonna need some 6-sided hex. You're gonna need a hex kit. That's too small. So I'm gonna have to go dig into the toolbox. Take a look at the toolbox. One, I don't like showing off my shit. It's kind of creepy, man. Burglar come in and steal my shit. So y'all keep that in mind. It's not a good idea to show off your shit. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you the whole process so you can get a better appreciation of why it takes as long as it does. Alrighty. We got one. Alright. 17 minutes in. We're adding to the 25 minutes of woman hours. We'll call them woman hours. Bring the women, bring the babes. They don't like that. They don't like the babe talk. Speaking of babes, check these out. You can get these on the DJI store if you want. Hopefully by the time you watch this video in the future, you'll be able to click a link up here and you can just go ahead and buy them. Don't think too much. You need these. But I'm going to tell you, they weigh 27.8 grams. This is about an ounce. Full ounce right here. And they're equally balanced on your props, but it's going to add an ounce of weight on your aircraft. And if you fly in high winds like I do, you're going to have an issue. By the way, that aircraft tops out at 37.2 miles an hour, I believe. I've taken it to like 37 miles an hour wide open. That's pretty fast. Well, here's the deal. Consider your wind speed. If you're doing severe storm research and shit like I do, odds are, especially if you're dealing with a strong storm, the inflow winds can exceed, 40 to 50 miles an hour. So when this drone goes airborne, which I mean, it's going to be hard to keep it on the ground. When you take that drone airborne, if your winds are blowing, 40 or 50 miles an hour, I had this thing wide open. We took it off one night. There was supposed to be a tornado coming in, one of the scariest nights of my life. The wind was blowing. It was in this industrial park. It had been about 2 in the morning. Lightning, and it started raining, pouring rain. And I took that thing up. That wind was blowing. I had that thing wide open throttle, and it was just levitating and blowing backwards. And I had to land it. You can tell the wind was well over 37 miles an hour. So let's get back down here. Can't seem to find this particular size socket, so we may need to break contact just for brevity. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have to do that. No. Yeah. So at this point, you got one or two options. You can do it the half-ass way, which is keep trying to fuck with it without the proper tools, or you can do it the proper way. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do it the proper way. Welcome back, Michael. Here's the deal. We're already 21 minutes in, so we got 5 minutes left. And I'm going to try to run these in 25-minute increments. I'm experimenting with the streaming capabilities. It can be, the quality's not as good, but imagine this, production-wise. When I use this camera, I do a lot of really extreme close-ups, not the best close-ups. I use some other cameras in slow motion. If you watch my DJI repairs, I've done a lot of slow motion and a lot of zoom out. Give you guys a better feel of how, or ladies or whoever, a better feel of repairing these systems. I feel like it really helps to get smaller and slower. You really got to slow it down, because if you bump and you move and you jar one of those transistors loose, or you fuck that thing up, I mean, that thing costs more than a car. And, it's a very delicate piece of equipment. So, any questions? We've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Don't forget to pick you up some copies. Facing the Storm, Unlimited Motivation. You can put $10 in there, send me your address and email, I'll mail you a book. Storm Chase tomorrow. You may wonder what we're doing with the drone right now. The drone is being repaired. We got it flying not too long ago. If you remember, it crashed during that tornado chase. It took me 2 days to find it. You see the control system. For the record, as of last night, like I said, my pilot's license expired. It's been 3 years. We've been working with that for 3 years. The system's still working, despite several crashes and weather. We got these stickers for promoting the YouTube channel, hopefully bring in some more money. But it survived numerous crashes. It flew. I took it to a record flight the other night, a little bit over 1,300 feet. And I was holding in a payload, GoPro Hero 4, which you see right here, which I've actually hooked right here. You can hook 2 Heroes up simultaneously. As a matter of fact, I've taken a Fly 360. You can see in there. This thing is a perfect fit for a Fly 360. It's tough on the rotors, but the diameter of the Fly 360 is actually, it almost seems like it was machined for this. It just sits on there perfect, and it adds a lot to the payload. You can understand, there's a $500 piece of equipment, and it's like an egg. It'll roll. Be very careful. Don't let it roll, because it's just got a glass eyeball. If that thing rolls and chips that glass eyeball, it's over with. You're done. And it's a lot of money. This Hero 4 is a $500 camera. 2.7K. Actually, I think it does 4K, but it's only like 15 frames. But 2.7K, 24 frames per second. All right, 25 minutes. I'll see y'all later.